Back in Hollywood's golden age, smoking wasn't just a habit. Smoking was practically a part of the job for many of the biggest stars. Cigarettes were everywhere, on screen, backstage, and even in the hands of the most famous faces in showbiz. In this video, we're diving into the stories of 20 golden age celebrities who couldn't put down the cigarette. For some, smoking was a style statement. For others, it was a way to unwind after long days under the bright studio lights. William Holden. William Holden is remembered for his standout performances in Sunset Boulevard, Stalag 17, and The Bridge on the River Kwai. With his rugged good looks and undeniable charm, Holden became a top star during the 1950s and 1960s. But behind the fame, he faced personal battles that ultimately overshadowed his legacy. Holden was a heavy smoker, reportedly going through 3 packs of cigarettes a day. Whether on set or off, he was rarely seen without a cigarette in hand. This habit, coupled with a struggle with alcoholism, took a significant toll on his health. In 1976, he endured a serious bout of pneumonia that forced him to quit drinking, though his smoking continued to affect his body. Tragically, in 1981, Holden passed away at just 63 years old after a fall in his Santa Monica apartment. He slipped on a rug, hit his head on a table, and bled to death. An autopsy revealed extensive lung damage likely caused by years of heavy smoking. Holden's ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean per his wishes, and no funeral or memorial service was held. While his career shines as a beacon of Golden Age Hollywood, his story also serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of addiction and smoking. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead remains an icon of Hollywood's Golden Age, a brilliant star whose fiery life burned out too soon. Coming from a prominent political family, her father served as Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. Yet, Tallulah carved her own path, starting her stage career at 15 in local theaters. Known for her deep voice and glamorous lifestyle, she reached Hollywood fame with her role in Alfred Hitchcock's Lifeboat. But behind the scenes, her personal life was turbulent. She was introduced to alcohol and drugs at New York's Algonquin parties. Here, Bankhead developed habits that shaped her public persona and health. Smoking up to 150 cigarettes a day, her husky voice became her trademark, but also a symptom of her struggles. Her health challenges began early. In 1933, after a near-death emergency hysterectomy caused by gonorrhea, she defiantly told her doctor, "Don't think this has taught me a lesson." She continued her hard-living ways, treating gin and bourbon like water. Despite starring in Broadway productions, films, and radio shows, Bankhead's lifestyle took a toll. By the 1960s, she battled severe respiratory problems, including emphysema and bronchitis. On December 12, 1968, at age 66, she succumbed to double pneumonia, worsened by malnutrition and a possible strain of the Hong Kong flu. Michael Landon. Michael Landon, the beloved star of Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie, was known for his charm and dedication to his craft. On the set, Landon's smoking and drinking habits were open secrets. Actress Alison Arngrim, who played Nellie Oleson, recalled a humorous moment when she discovered Landon's love for Wild Turkey bourbon. Hiding in a truck for a nap, she overheard him jokingly extend a styrofoam cup, asking for a refill. His love of cigarettes, up to 4 packs a day, became so notorious that the crew nicknamed him Socks due to the lingering scent of smoke. Despite these habits, Landon's professionalism and energy rarely wavered. His colleagues marveled at how he balanced his vices with an impressive workload, starring in and directing beloved TV series. But by 1989, his health began to reflect the toll of years of smoking. In April 1991, while skiing in Utah, Landon suffered a severe headache. This led to a devastating diagnosis: inoperable pancreatic cancer. Ever the optimist, Landon faced his illness with humor, once joking, "I hope I don't lose my hair. It's been reviewed for 35 years." Landon passed away on July 1, 1991, surrounded by family. His gravestone reflects his legacy. He seized life with joy. He gave to life generously. A symbol of love and laughter, Michael Landon remains cherished by fans worldwide. Rory Calhoun. Rory Calhoun's legacy as a Hollywood cowboy and adventure hero lives on, a reminder of the golden age of cinema and the power of a chance discovery. His path to Hollywood stardom began with a chance encounter in a Los Angeles park. But before finding fame, Rory held various rugged jobs, including working as a boxer, lumberjack, truck driver, and even a cowpuncher. This may have been why he was able to make his mark in the Western and adventure cinematic world. In that park that day, a talent agent, Sue Carroll, the wife of actor Alan Ladd, spotted him riding a horse. Impressed by his tall, rugged good looks, she arranged a screen test for him at 20th Century Fox, launching his acting career. Rory's charisma and natural talent earned him leading roles in over 80 films, including How to Marry a Millionaire and The Spoilers. He also appeared in more than 1,000 television episodes, cementing his place as a beloved star of westerns and adventure dramas. Despite his success, Rory's later years were marked by health challenges. He passed away on April 28, 1999, after a 10-day hospital stay due to complications from emphysema, a severe lung infection, and diabetes. Jackie Gleason. On June 24, 1987, Jackie Gleason passed away at age 71 in his Florida home. After a funeral mass, he was laid to rest in a private mausoleum in Miami. His humor and unforgettable performances continue to make him a beloved icon of television and film. Gleason's appetite was as big as his personality. His weight often fluctuated between 230 and 330 pounds, fueled by his love for food. He was known to eat multiple meals in one sitting, often followed by a gallon of ice cream. His eating wasn't his only indulgence. He drank heavily, calling his favorite drink Scotch on the Rocks, a cream bun on ice. Gleason also smoked up to 6 packs of cigarettes a day, a habit he maintained even during his peak television years. These habits took a toll on his health. By the 1980s, Gleason was suffering from diabetes, phlebitis, and eventually colon cancer. Despite his health struggles, he delivered a powerful performance in Nothing in Common, 1986, his final film role. Diagnosed with advanced colon cancer during production, he kept his illness private. Jackie Gleason, best known as Ralph Cramden on The Honeymooners, was larger than life both on and off the screen. His comedic timing and energetic personality captivated audiences, but his personal habits were equally legendary. Audrey Hepburn. Behind her glamorous image, Audrey Hepburn had a lifelong struggle with smoking. She began smoking at just 15 years old, and as her fame grew, so did her addiction. To cope with the pressures of fame, Hepburn smoked heavily, often going through 2 or 3 packs a day. Her smoking habit was so well known that it appeared in many of her films, including Roman Holiday and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Audrey Hepburn was one of Hollywood's greatest actresses and a fashion icon. She was known for her timeless beauty and memorable roles. She was even ranked by the American Film Institute as the 3rd greatest female screen legend of classic Hollywood. Hepburn's talent and elegance still captivate audiences worldwide. While smoking did not significantly affect her career, it did take a toll on her health. At the age of 62, Audrey began experiencing stomach pains, and doctors discovered cancer in her appendix. Research suggests that this type of cancer, which is related to colon cancer, can be caused by smoking. Audrey Hepburn passed away at 64, but her legacy as a talented actress and style icon remains. Her smoking habit serves as a reminder of the risks associated with smoking, especially for those who start at a young age. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, one of the most iconic figures in film history, used cigars as a symbol in his movies, representing both wealth and class. Chaplin grew up in poverty, and his experiences shaped his deep sympathy for the underdog. This was portrayed through his famous character, the Tramp. In City Lights, Chaplin used a big cigar to represent the power and wealth of the upper class. The cigar also served as a humorous prop, showing how the tramp, who had little, would often pick up discarded cigar butts from the wealthy. Chaplin, like many adults of his time, was a regular smoker, and he continued this habit into middle age. However, he eventually gave up smoking. In Monsieur Verdoux, for example, his character refuses a cigarette just before his execution. This marks a clear break from his earlier smoking days. Chaplin's relationship with smoking went beyond his personal habits. It was a key part of his screen persona. The cigarette was a trademark of his tramp character, adding to the humor and symbolism of his films. Though Chaplin later abandoned the habit, the use of cigars and cigarettes in his films remains an important part of his legacy, reflecting both social commentary and comedic timing. George Burns. George Burns, a legendary comedian, became famous for his nightclub stand-up acts. In these, he often portrayed himself as a cheeky, lecherous old man. A trademark of his performances was the cigar he always smoked on stage. Burns timed his routines by the amount his cigar had burned down. He preferred inexpensive El Producto cigars because the loosely wrapped tobacco burned longer. This gave him more time to entertain the audience. Burns once humorously said, "In my youth, they called me a rebel. When I was middle-aged, they called me eccentric. Now that I'm old, I'm doing the same thing I've always done, and they're calling me senile." Burns was a regular cigar smoker, estimated to have smoked around 300,000 cigars in his lifetime, starting at age 14. He never smoked cigarettes or marijuana, joking that show business had given him enough excitement. In his later years, Burns kept himself in good health with daily exercise, including swimming and sit-ups. He also enjoyed driving new Cadillacs every year until he was 93, after which he relied on chauffeurs. Despite a serious fall in 1994 that led to surgery, Burns continued to perform until his health declined. In February 1995, he received the first SAG Lifetime Achievement Award. Burns passed away on March 9, 1996, just 49 days after his 100th birthday, joining his beloved wife Gracie in death. David Janssen. An anecdote from the set of The Fugitive paints a vivid picture of Johnson's relationship with cigarettes. During breaks, crew members joked that his dressing room was less a place to relax and more of a personal smokehouse. His co-star Barry Morse once quipped, "You'd think David could light a cigarette just by looking at it." David Janssen's life was a mix of Hollywood glamour and personal struggles. Janssen, Dr. Richard Kimball on The Fugitive, embodied the intense, tough guy persona that audiences loved. His cigarette habit was central to that image. He was rarely seen without one, both on-screen and off. At his peak, Janssen smoked up to 4 packs a day, and the constant smoking began to affect his once strong voice, making it raspy over time. Despite his habits, Janssen was a consummate professional. His work ethic never wavered, though his health did. Chronic respiratory issues began to slow him down, delaying filming schedules. Tragically, these issues culminated in a fatal heart attack at just 48 years old. This cut short his career while he was working on the TV movie Father Damien. Janssen's funeral drew a star-studded crowd, a testament to his impact on Hollywood. Suzanne Pleshette delivered a heartfelt eulogy. The pallbearers included Gregory Peck and Johnny Carson. His legacy endures, marked by his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Janssen's life, though brief, left an indelible mark on television history. Sammy Davis Jr. The Rat Pack, made up of stars like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr., was known for its cool, rebellious image. The group was famous for its wild antics, including drinking, womanizing, and smoking. But behind the scenes, much of this behavior was an act. While performing, they often drank apple juice in glasses that looked like whiskey. It was usually the women who chased them, not the other way around. However, one thing they couldn't fake was smoking, and Sammy Davis Jr. was a big smoker. Sammy often smoked both on and off stage, which wasn't ideal for someone whose career relied on their voice. He was known for taking a puff during a song and then singing the next note as the smoke swirled out. While it may have looked cool, it was damaging to his vocal cords. Nat King Cole once warned Sammy about the harm he was doing with his smoking, explaining that it was burning his vocal cords. Sammy didn't listen, and by the 1980s he started having vocal problems. A doctor later confirmed that smoking had caused nodules on his vocal cords. In 1989, Sammy was diagnosed with throat cancer. Despite radiation treatment, his larynx was eventually removed. He passed away from complications in May 1990 at age 64. 2 days after his death, the Las Vegas Strip dimmed its lights in his honor. John Huston. John Huston, the legendary film director, once described directing movies as a left-handed form of human endeavor. It seemed he approached his career with a certain level of tolerance. While he worked in the film industry, he often saw it as a way to finance his other passions, such as cigars, liquor, gambling, and women. Despite this, he went on to create some of the greatest films in cinema history. These included The Maltese Falcon, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and The African Queen. He also played a major role in shaping the film noir genre. Huston was known for his heavy smoking, a habit that eventually caught up with him. In 1978, he was diagnosed with emphysema, a condition that affected his breathing. By the end of his life, he needed oxygen after just 20 minutes of activity. Huston passed away on August 28, 1987, from pneumonia, a complication of his lung disease. He was 81 years old. Huston's legacy continues to live on, and he's buried at Hollywood Forever Cemetery alongside his mother. Throughout his life, he had close friendships with famous figures like George Hodel, Orson Welles, Ernest Hemingway, and Humphrey Bogart, for whom he delivered the eulogy at his funeral. Rita Hayworth. On the set of Gilda, Rita Hayworth's co-star Glenn Ford reportedly teased her about always having a cigarette ready before the director called, "Cut." Despite such lighthearted moments, the habit took its toll on her health and voice over the years. You see, Rita developed a smoking habit in her youth, and that grew into a full-blown addiction. Known to smoke up to 3 packs a day, she often lit a cigarette between scenes on set. Her personal life was far from the silver screen perfection she portrayed. Alongside her smoking, Rita battled depression and addiction, which compounded her challenges. One crew member from her later films recalled seeing her chain-smoking during breaks. They said she seemed visibly weary, but determined to deliver the captivating performances she was known for. In the early 1980s, Rita was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Her daughter, Princess Yasmin Aga Khan, later believed was exacerbated by her years of smoking. Rita passed away on May 14, 1987, at the age of 68, from complications of the disease. Her funeral at the Church of the Good Shepherd drew mourners from all walks of life. She was laid to rest at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City. But she left behind a legacy of elegance, resilience, and unforgettable performances. Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper was an American actor known for his calm, strong presence and understated acting style. He won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor and was nominated 3 times. In 1961, he also received an honorary Oscar for his career achievements. Cooper, known for his tall, quiet demeanor, was admired by many for being one of the kindest, most down-to-earth stars in Hollywood. Though Cooper looked older than his years, he was able to play younger characters in films like Pride of the Yankees, even when he was in his 40s. He became famous for his roles in westerns, especially in High Noon, which remains one of his most iconic films. In the later years of his career, Cooper continued working despite health problems. He underwent surgery for a painful hernia, only to discover he had prostate cancer that had spread to other parts of his body. In 1961, after a tough battle with the disease, Cooper passed away at the age of 60. Cooper's friends, including James Stewart and John Wayne, attended his funeral, remembering him fondly. His final words showed his peaceful acceptance of his fate. "I am not afraid of the future." He was buried in the Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California, with his grave marked by a large boulder from a Montauk quarry. Marty Feldman. Marty Feldman was a comedic genius known for his offbeat humor and unique appearance. In particular, his misaligned eyes made him a memorable figure in both television and film. But behind the laughs, Marty struggled with a serious addiction that would ultimately cut his life short. Marty started his career as a writer for BBC radio programs and TV shows, where his sharp wit and creativity stood out. He gained fame after writing for Bootsy and Snudge and Round the Horn, along with creating the beloved Four Yorkmen sketch, which earned him 2 British Academy Television Awards in 1969. His rise to stardom as a performer, however, was marked by his personal battles. Feldman was a heavy smoker for most of his life, sometimes consuming up to 5 packs of cigarettes a day. His smoking habit became a part of his persona, contributing to his image of a hard-edged yet hilarious character. Tragically, Marty's addiction led to his early death. In December 1982, while filming Yellowbeard in Mexico City, he suffered a fatal heart attack at the age of 48. His passing was a huge loss to the entertainment world, and the film was later dedicated to him. Marty Feldman is buried at Forest Lawn Hollywood Hills Cemetery, California, near his idol, Buster Keaton. His legacy lives on, not only through his comedic contributions, but also as a reminder of the personal challenges many stars face behind the scenes. Marlene Dietrich. While smoking is often associated with illness, Marlene Dietrich made it look effortlessly glamorous. One of her most iconic images is from the 1931 film Shanghai Express, where she casually smokes a cigarette. She then lets the smoke swirl around her lips, eyes, and hair. The cigarette almost seemed to highlight how stunning Dietrich was, making it look natural and chic. Marlene Dietrich passed away on May 6, 1992, at the age of 90 due to kidney failure. Dietrich was one of the first Hollywood sex symbols, and her beauty made her unforgettable. She became famous not only for her acting talent, but also for her glamorous, bold persona. Her face, illuminated by the right lighting, glowed in a way that no one else's did, especially in black and white photographs. Her funeral was a grand event, held at the Roman Catholic Church of La Madeleine in Paris. It was attended by thousands of mourners, including ambassadors from several countries. Dietrich's coffin was draped in the French flag, with a simple bouquet of white flowers. She was remembered as a brave artist who fought against Nazism and lived her life with strength and dignity. Jack Webb. Jack Webb was one of Hollywood's most respected actors, producers, and screenwriters. He was best known for his role as Sergeant Joe Friday on the popular TV series Dragnet. His tough, no-nonsense detective made him an iconic figure in classic film noir. Despite his success, Webb faced personal struggles that affected his health, particularly his smoking habit. Webb had acute asthma from a young age, but surprisingly, he became a heavy smoker. At his peak, he smoked up to 3 to 4 packs of cigarettes a day, even while working on Dragnet. This was especially shocking given his ongoing battle with asthma and heart problems. His smoking habit eventually caught up with him. Webb once visited a doctor who advised him to quit smoking and go on a special diet due to an ulcer that could have been cancerous. Unfortunately, he ignored the advice and continued smoking. In 1954, he even appeared in a Chesterfield cigarette ad promoting the brand. Sadly, his smoking and unhealthy lifestyle took a toll on his health. He looked much older than his age. Jack Webb died on December 23, 1982, at the age of 62 from a heart attack caused by arteriosclerosis. His death was a reminder of how smoking can have serious long-term health consequences. Rod Serling. The legendary Rod Serling's funeral took place on July 2, 1975, in his hometown. A memorial service was held at Cornell University a few days later, where his family and friends remembered him. Rod Serling struggled with self-doubt throughout his life. He is remembered as the creator of one of television's most legendary shows, The Twilight Zone. He was highly respected in Hollywood for his creative genius, and his work became a sensation. But he never felt fully satisfied with his work and often questioned himself both as an artist and a person. To cope with these feelings, Serling turned to unhealthy habits like drinking and smoking. His smoking habit became especially severe after The Twilight Zone ended, with him smoking up to 4 packs of cigarettes a day. This constant self-medication worsened as he tried to recreate the success of his iconic show, but struggled to find similar achievements. Serling's health continued to decline, and in 1975 he was forced to undergo bypass surgery for a blocked artery. Sadly, during the procedure, he suffered a heart attack and passed away at the age of 50. The years of drinking, smoking, and stress had taken a heavy toll on his body. Rod Serling's death was a tragic reminder of the dangers of addiction and self-doubt. Vincent Price. Vincent Leonard Price Jr. was not just a celebrated actor, but also a passionate art historian, art collector, and gourmet. Born in 1911, he became a household name with his unforgettable roles in over 100 films. His distinct voice and chilling performances made him a legendary figure in the world of horror and thrillers. His career spanned stage, television, and radio, but it was his villainous roles that truly defined his legacy. Price's most iconic role came in 1953's House of Wax, a film that solidified his place as a master of fright. His portrayal of the mad sculptor obsessed with creating wax figures became a defining moment in horror cinema. Fans remember him for his eerie yet captivating performances, and it was this role that introduced him to a new generation of horror fans. But behind the screen, Vincent Price had another passion: art. He was an accomplished art historian and collector, often using his fame to support and promote the arts. He was even able to combine his love of art with his work, hosting art-related television programs and writing books on the subject. His efforts in the art world earned him a reputation beyond just Hollywood. Price's impressive career was recognized with 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one for motion pictures and another for television. These accolades celebrated his contributions to both mediums. However, his life came to an end in 1993 at the age of 82 after a long battle with lung cancer. Price had been a lifelong smoker, and his smoking habit likely played a significant role in his health decline. Burgess Meredith. Despite his success, Burgess Meredith faced personal challenges that affected both his career and health. He was a heavy smoker for much of his life, starting at a young age. In fact, he once had a terrifying nightmare that led him to quit smoking in the 1960s. In the dream, he found himself trapped in a burning building because his cigarettes had caught fire. This nightmare convinced him to kick the habit for nearly 25 years. However, when he landed the role of the Penguin, he had to start smoking again. The character required him to use a cigarette holder, and Meredith found himself coughing frequently between takes. To hide his coughing fits, he famously developed the Penguin's signature quacking laugh. Once the series ended, Meredith immediately quit smoking again. In his later years, Meredith faced health problems, many related to his smoking. He passed away in 1997 at the age of 89 from complications of Alzheimer's disease and melanoma. In his autobiography So Far, So Good, he revealed he also struggled with cyclothymia, a form of bipolar disorder. Despite the challenges he faced, Meredith left behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most memorable actors. Ann Miller. Ann Miller was a famous American actress and dancer known for her glamorous performances in Hollywood musicals during the 1940s and 1950s. She starred in many classic films, including Room Service with the Marx Brothers and You Can't Take It With You in 1938. Ann was known for her stunning dancing skills, and one of her most famous numbers was Shake Your Dandy Dandy. During the peak of her career, Miller, like many stars of the time, was a heavy smoker. Back then, smoking was common, and the health risks were not widely known. Sadly, Miller's smoking habit took a toll on her health. She passed away from lung cancer on January 22, 2004, at the age of 80, though there was some confusion about her exact age after her death. Some reports listed her age as 81 or 82, but most sources believe she was around 80 years old. Miller's passing marked the end of an era in Hollywood, as she had been a beloved star of the golden age of cinema. She was buried at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California, leaving behind a legacy of memorable films and unforgettable dance performances. And that's a wrap on our list of Hollywood's biggest chain smokers from the golden age. These stars were some of the most iconic actors and actresses of their time, but sadly, their smoking habits took a toll on their health. While smoking was once seen as glamorous, we now know just how dangerous it can be. It's important to remember the lessons from these Hollywood legends and take care of ourselves. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fun and informative videos like this one. See you next time.